Let's go.
How's it going, Bryce students? Welcome back to Life Groups and our series where I am answering your questions. The question for this lesson that I will be answering is, how can I be a good sibling or a good friend? And I think that's a great question. But first, pause, pray together using the prompts on screen, discuss any challenges that you took before spring break. And then finally, I want you to answer this question to start off. What do you think a good friend or sibling looks like? What do they do? How do they act? How do they treat their friends and siblings? And then after all of that, go ahead and come back here and we will get started. Okay, so I have 7 attributes of a good friend or sibling, and there will be some spots to pause and discuss these things, but 7 attributes of a good friend and sibling. So number 1, a good friend or sibling shows up, especially when it's hard or inconvenient. A good friend or a good sibling shows up, especially when it's hard or inconvenient. Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loves at all time, and a brother is born for a time of adversity." Remember, I like to think of love as the ABCs. Love includes affection, so that's delight, that's joy, that's affection, feeling for another person. But it's not just that. If it's just that, that's very shallow. That's a very shallow form of love. Love is also benevolence, which means wanting and willing the good for another person, and the good as God defines it, as is actually good and beneficial for someone else. And then finally, love is charity, which means actually acting and doing practical things, sacrificing in order to bring about good for someone, putting someone's needs before your own, doing things in real life that benefit someone else. So love is affection, it's benevolence, and charity. So to be a good friend, delight in someone. Enjoy someone's presence, enjoy their personality, enjoy what makes them unique, appreciate their quirks, and at the same time, want the best for them, hope for good things for them, pray that good things would happen to them, that they would know Christ, that they would love Christ and walk in His ways, that God would bless them. And then finally, serve them. Do things that actually help them practically, help them with their homework. Do your siblings' chores for them, or something along those lines. And then when things get tough for them, don't bail. Stay loyal. Love at all times, as that Proverbs says. Stick close to them, especially in adversity. So a good friend sticks by someone. Proverbs 18:24. "One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." Again, a good friend shows up. We're still on point number 1. A good friend shows up. A good friend is reliable. So do what you said you would do. That's what a good friend does. They are faithful. They make good on their promises. Don't flake. If you say you're going to help someone or do something for someone, be there. Follow through. Do that thing. Go ahead and pause here and answer this question. When did someone show up for you? When did someone show up for you? What did that mean for you? How did that bless you? How was someone faithful to you? When did they show up for you? Okay, number 2, a good friend doesn't gossip. Proverbs 16:28. "A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends." Gossip is sharing unnecessary or unhelpful information with someone who does not need to know it. That's different from going to someone for advice or for counsel. It's sharing unnecessary or unhelpful information with someone who doesn't need to know it. Gossip can feel fun. It feels like you know valuable information that others don't. But it separates people. Don't be the reason that a friendship ends, that friends separate. Don't gossip about your siblings. It can feel like we can get a pass on what we say about our siblings. Like, yeah, we really love them, and but they annoy us, and so I'm just saying these things because I love them, and they irritate me, but in a good way. That's not biblical, okay? Don't gossip about your friend or about your siblings. Don't gossip about your brother or sister. Don't talk down about them behind their back. That's a good way to be both a good friend and a good sibling. Protect people's reputation. Protect their honor in the way you talk about them. Number 3, a good friend cuts to heal. A good friend cuts to heal. Proverbs 27:6 says, "Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses." Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. And then Proverbs 27:17, one you probably all know, "As iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another." Both of these verses teach that a good friend doesn't excuse sin or sloth or selfishness in another friend. They challenge each other to help each other. Just like a surgeon first has to cut the body in order to heal the body, so good friends might say things that hurt at first, but are to help and challenge and make someone grow in their Christ-likeness. So good friends will say those things. They'll call people out. Don't be a jerk, don't be harsh, but be able to challenge your friends. Tell them, hey, you gossip a lot, you should stop that. You should just stop that. Be able to say, hey, you kind of talk disrespectful to your parents a lot, you should stop that. Again, a good friend cuts in order to heal or in order to build up. Go ahead and pause here and answer this question. Has anyone ever called you out on something and you deserved it? Has anyone ever called you out on something? How did that feel? But how did that benefit you in the long run? Number 4, a good friend sacrifices. A good friend sacrifices. John 15:13, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." There are extreme cases where people literally sacrifice their lives to save a friend's life, just as Christ did, and Christ is the ultimate example of this. He is the ultimate picture of this, but this principle applies to daily life as well. A good friend sacrifices what they want to give someone else what they want. A good friend sacrifices. With all of these, I've said it, at least once before now, with all these, I think it's actually easier to do these things for friends than it is to do them for siblings. So sacrifice, not just for your friends, but for your siblings as well. Let them sit in the front seat. Again, take their chores for the day or help them out with their homework or something like that. A good sibling loves by sacrificing for their other sibling. Number 5, a good friend encourages. A good friend encourages. There are dozens of verses that I came across in preparing for this point that teach us to encourage one another. So I'm just going to give you one. It's Acts 14:21 through 22. It says, "And after they had preached the gospel to that city and had made a good number of disciples, they returned to Lystra, to Iconium, and to Antioch, strengthening the souls of the disciples, encouraging them to continue in the faith, and saying, 'It is through many tribulations that we must enter the kingdom of God.'" So tell your friends to keep going. Tell them not to give up. Tell them what you appreciate about them. Bad friends tear each other down. Good friends build each other up. It's important to say this in light of the fact that we should call each other out. We should, at times, point out one another's sins and call each other to grow in those areas. But we are also called to encourage one another. We're called to point out where somebody is doing well and then to build them up, tell them to keep doing those things. This is a muscle that we don't exercise very often, so it may feel weird at first to encourage someone. Keep doing it, and it will get more comfortable. It will get easier. Again, I think this is especially difficult with siblings. We can fight and bicker and irritate our siblings so much, we can be in constant conflict with them, that it can be really hard to encourage them. It can be really hard to build them up or say something nice to them. Suck it up and do it anyway, okay? You will be thankful that you maintained relationships with your siblings and that you encouraged them. Tell them you love them and what you appreciate about them. And then especially with encouragement, encourage people in the faith. Encourage means to build courage up in someone. Talk to them, speak to them, build them up in such a way that they have the courage to press on in their faith, to do difficult things, to do good things that are unpopular. Encourage your friends. One other thought about encouragement, this does not mean that you can't tease or joke or, make fun of your friends a little bit. This is a dynamic that is more common with guys than girls. Guys like to make fun of each other. It's a way of testing each other. It's a way of actually bonding with each other. It's just something guys do sort of naturally. So it's okay to tease. I'm not saying that you have to be, super lovey-dovey, complimentary of all your bros all the time. But when you tease or when you joke, just don't take it too far. You do have to be wise in these areas. On the other hand, if you're the one being teased, don't be sensitive. Be able to laugh at yourself. Being able to laugh at yourself is a sign of humility. Don't take every joke or little tease or insult as an insult to your unimpeachable character. Be slow to be offended. So again, encourage each other. Number 6, a good friend is not petty. A good friend is not petty. Proverbs 19:11, a person's wisdom brings patience. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. It is to one's glory to overlook an offense. Overlooking an offense means letting something go and not making a big deal out of it, right? You're not staring at it, you're not focusing on it, you're looking over it, you're ignoring it in some ways. This also is part of being hard to offend. Don't whine if a friend was 5 minutes late to pick you up. Don't whine if they didn't text you back right away. Don't be petty and complain about these little things that can irritate us. Overlook these faults. Let them go. This is kind of a side note. This will be especially helpful in your marriage. This is something to practice with your friends so that you are not petty with your spouse and create unnecessary conflict in your marriage. Number 7, a good friend is loyal. A good friend is loyal. I don't have a specific verse for this one, but loyalty is one of those virtues that is just kind of common sense, obviously at the heart of friendship. You can kind of see it in the verses that talk about sticking closer than a brother or loving at all times. Why does betrayal hurt so much? Because loyalty is so precious. Why does betrayal often end friendships? Because loyalty in many ways is at the heart of friendship. So don't be a Judas. Don't betray your friends for money, for status, for associating with more popular people or more well-connected people, or because you are afraid of looking bad by being associated with that friend. Be loyal to your friends. Stick with them, right? If you have a reputation of not being loyal, you're not going to have friends or many friends for very long. So be loyal to your friends. One last point about friendship to finish. Being a good friend does not mean being a doormat and putting up with a bad friend. There may be times in a friendship where your friend is going through a real trial. They get really sick, like maybe cancer level sick. They fail a class, then they get cut from a team, then they get in a car accident. There's kind of these trials that stack on top of one another. Maybe their parents lose their job. Maybe their parents are getting a divorce. There may be seasons like this where a friend is suffering. They are genuinely suffering. They are going through a trial, and they treat you poorly. They treat you poorly because of what they're going through. That's not an excuse. That's not a good reason to treat you poorly, but it's understandable if that happens. Don't abandon them. Show up for them. Maybe rebuke them and tell them to stop treating you poorly. Okay, there will be times where friends will make mistakes and you have to forgive. You have to overlook that fault. Okay. On the other hand, a friend who continually gossips about you, belittles you, and who does not show up for you, who takes advantage of you, who takes all your help and gives nothing in return, that is a bad friend, and it is okay to end that friendship, or maybe put some distance between there. Maybe not totally end it, but you put some distance. You stop hanging out. You stop letting them take advantage of you. Don't tell them off. Don't gossip about them in return. Don't try to get revenge. But you can end a friendship when it is unhealthy. Being a good friend does not look like allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. Okay? All right, this is all I have for you besides some discussion questions. One part of the discussion tonight is going to be an encouragement train. So what's going to happen is one person will start off, they'll pick somebody in your life group, and they'll say something to encourage them. Say something that you appreciate about them. And then that person who's just been encouraged will pick somebody else to encourage, and on and on and on. It may get to a point where it's your turn to encourage somebody, and there's nobody left who you know very well. Just do your best, even if it's something like, I really like the way you are willing to pray in life group. I really like your smile. You know, it can be something as simple as that. Just do your best, encourage one another, and then there will be some challenges as well. Thanks for being here. May God bless you, and I will talk to you next time.